spicy, mild, or somewhere in the middle. Answering all your questions, so turn it up a little. Is a meat dude, yeah, it's a meat dude, yeah.
All right, episode 4, my man. 6 in 1 Meats location, hanging out here next to the carcass, swaying next to us here. I'm Patrick. This is my friend Spencer, the meat dude. What's up, brother?
Nothing. This is where I spend 12 hours a day, and here we are recording in it this evening. But yeah, it's kind of cool. There's some, we'll get to later into the show, that there's some text in about some different cuts. So I think this will be cool to have a beef carcass hanging right next to us when we bring up those conversations. So yeah, I think we talked the first couple episodes that we were going to do on-site recording. Here's our first try.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It was funny. I was sitting outside, and he was like, "Dude, I just left here like 20 minutes ago." And then, no, you got to get back here. We got to get set up.
Here we are.
We got to do this podcast thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. We've had a lot of different interactions so far through Facebook, likes on YouTube, personal people texting and calling Spencer and myself. Just greatly appreciate everything, and we want to keep trying to bring you guys good information, good stories, good laughs, just a good time overall. But first up, your holiday story, man. Do you have any kind of anything that happened over the holidays? How did it go for you?
This feels like, when were the holidays? Everything's such a blur.
Yeah.
It's already been 2 weeks since Christmas.
Right? The kids are back in school already, and it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, cooking-wise, we went to my folks, and we cooked pork loin, if you remember a couple episodes back.
Yeah.
That was the plan, and that's what we did. No fails per se. It was just kind of a cold, dreary day, and then the air fryer just didn't quite...
Your kettle air fryer?
Air fryer didn't quite cook it as fast as we needed it to, so I had to use a gas grill to kind of finish it off. But it turned out really good. Those kettle air fryer things, man, they're interesting. I've not much experience with them, but the logic of using them makes a lot of sense on paper, so it's kind of cool. Other than that, there was an ice storm that night.
Yeah.
That was rough getting back, because Christmas fell on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I still had to work on Friday. So driving home in an ice storm, that was pretty wild. I think I texted you that night.
Yeah, you did.
That it took 3.5 hours to get home when it usually takes an hour or an hour and a half.
Yeah, that was brutal.
But we made it. We got to sleep in our own beds. My wife thought we were gonna have to sleep in the parking lot of a gas station for a short time.
That's
there.
not creepy enough.
Yeah, we made it. We made it home.
Hey, that trucker's waving us over. Why don't we see what he says?
How about you? What'd you cook? What'd you do?
We ended up having some holiday ham, which was really nice because we went over that kind of stuff. It was already cured after I did some investigative work. I got this nasty, or not nasty. It was frozen, just big chunk of ham.
So when you open up a paper wrapped frozen ham,
yes,
still
that
frozen,
says not for sale,
still frozen.
Yeah.
It does not look the best.
No.
We'll just say that.
Yeah.
It wasn't nasty, but it just doesn't look as good as a.
Using my kids' adjectives.
Yeah, and that's right. You did send me a picture of it and be like,
dude. But remember when we talked about this on the podcast? This has no instructions, so I'm going back to square one here with you.
Yeah. But you figured it out that it was cured, so that was the first step.
Yeah. Then I had my wife just put it in the oven and
reheated it. It was good.
Yeah. It actually was extra salty, so I don't know what they did.
Yeah. We'll just add more salt in the brine, but yeah.
Way too much, I think. But
there's something with that. I get a lot of feedback on our hams. We make quite a bit of hams. We're actually doing pigs this week, so we'll be making some hams soon. But we talked about it a couple episodes ago, but it's like where you're located depends on how salty you like things.
Okay.
And this
it's a very salty area.
Is German, like they like salt.
I mean, it was to the point where someone at the table started Googling how to get rid of the salty taste of the ham, and I was like, I think we're too late, guys. I think that was already done in the curing process.
It's stuck in there.
Yeah, that was done
for.
So you just had to drink a little more, and everything went well. But yeah, we had a great holiday. Got to see a lot of family. Still going to see some family this weekend. It's just been going really well. Got to go out pheasant hunting a couple times. I didn't get to go with you. I had to go with a couple buddies out out west, but you're always constantly working and constantly doing all this stuff.
Yeah, and then you, of course, send pictures of your massive kills, and anytime you do send me pictures, I'm counting the birds and trying to figure out how many guys are with you.
Well, I had one of those birds. Oh wait, I had 3 of those birds. No, there was a lot of late season birds in the field that were as jumpy as possible.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were almost walking. It was the first time that we've actually approached walking towards each other, which was kind of sketch.
Yeah.
But also understanding that everyone knew where everyone was. If it's up in the air, it's good to go. It was a lot of fun. Pheasant hunting's good if I get birds or not. So
yeah, if you get a group of guys that are all familiar with that type of hunting, in the walking towards each other.
Well, I mean,
it makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's rooster, hen, rooster, all of a sudden I feel like you're kind of under fire, but you got to stay focused and shoot the rooster. But it all worked out.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I went out with you once this fall, and now pheasant season's over. So
legally, I
guess.
Saw some in my backyard the other day. Yeah.
I guess my pheasant season for 2025 is done. So.
It's done, but that's what 2026. Hopefully, we can build in a couple more days of that.
No doubt.
Maybe even get you out west and get you into some more bird numbers or whatever. Well, I put the picture of the pheasants on Facebook and talked about what people would like to cook. Had some response with that, which is really cool. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to hear. Like you said, there's a lot of geographical or regional things where people are like, I have a feeling we're hopefully going to get that reach out of the German, Russian, just a little past the North Dakota reach. But as of now, we got the pretty cream cheese it up, bacon it up, cover it with whatever you can. And no one said I just like to eat pheasant. Like today, I had a little bit of bacon, a little bit of pheasant, fried it up, put some eggs on it, and had it for lunch. I mean, pheasant is good. It's just
that's up for debate. Anything that I think the Facebook post kind of proves it when you say, how do you cook a certain type of meat, and everybody's response is adding bacon, adding cream of whatever it was that
put it in soup or cream
put it in
cheese,
soup, put it. My wife's go-to all the time back when I used to hunt a lot was like a rice, like a pheasant cream of mushroom and rice mixture,
which is good.
In the
oven,
great.
You're saying?
Yeah, like in a slow roasted pan.
Yep.
It's good, but the question is how good is pheasant as just a straight up meat?
Added cheese and olives, and bacon.
But you can make anything taste good, right? But how many steps you have to take to get there? That's kind of where I determine if meat is good or not. But.
Right. Well, that makes
we can
sense.
get into that debate a lot later down the road.
Well, you can probably do that to a boot too, as well.
That's what I'm saying. You can add things to leather and make it edible. Just saying.
Oh, that's awesome.
Spicy, mild, or somewhere in the middle. Answering all your questions, so turn it up a little. Is a meat dude. Yeah, it's a meat dude. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into these questions, my man. The Meat Dude got some questions through askthemeatdude@gmail.com. This is coming from our listener, Isaac. He gave us a few questions, so we're going to see what the Meat Dude has to say. Question number 1, what is your favorite cut of meat and why?
Beef is flat iron steak. It's probably my favorite steak cut that comes out of specifically beef. Not going to come out of any other animal, but the flavor of it is super rich. Sometimes almost so potent in beef flavor that it's off-putting to people.
Okay.
And it's also on paper like the second most tender steak out of a whole beef carcass.
Really?
Now it's a little bit touchy with temperature, meaning that medium rare is pretty much perfect. If it's overcooked, undercooked, you start getting those more prominent beef flavors that are sometimes off-putting. Like obviously everybody taste is drastically different, but I've had customers say that they think it tastes like liver. That's how strong the beef flavor it is.
Okay.
But the tenderness is just out of this world. And it's usually got a lot of fat in it, just naturally from where it's located in a beef carcass. It actually comes from the primal shoulder clod, which is the bottom half of the shoulder. And then from that shoulder clod, it comes from the top blade. And it's called the top blade because it sits right on top of the shoulder blade.
Okay.
So picture the shoulder blade, medial ridge of the shoulder blade. Yeah, we got a beef there. I
was
forgot.
gonna say, you get the
Right
pointer,
under.
get the
Well,
laser
I can't show you what a shoulder blade looks like up there, but sitting literally right here
Okay.
is it's called the top blade. And when we take that, you got to do a couple special things to it to turn it into a flat iron steak, but it is my favorite.
So that chunk of meat on any other animal, is it
Too small to
Okay.
salvage.
even the deer I shoot?
I mean, you can try.
Obviously.
You can try, but it's
Maybe
gonna
an
be.
elk or a moose?
I've seen.
Bison, maybe?
Yeah, bison for sure.
Okay.
Bison are pretty much the same size as this. They're not the huge animals that you see on the TV screens, but elk are big enough that you can keep the top blade off of. But yeah,
Okay.
deer, it's just. I mean, the shoulder blade of a deer is actually
No,
only
I know.
like this
I
big.
usually
so-
shoot it and then,
Yeah, but pigs too small, nothing there. Lamb, same thing, too small. The size of a top blade out of a lamb is like that big. But yeah,
Not
it's
big.
there. Just you gotta kind of realize that the structure of every animal is the same. All the muscle groups are all the
Yep.
same. It's just different sizing and orientation to the total carcass, but everything's all there. Same with us. I mean, we
Yeah.
have all the same
Same
structure,
anatomy, yeah.
same anatomy, same muscle names, same everything. It's just our structure is different, and we don't obviously grow muscles the same way. Same with comparing a
I
pig.
move a little more than a cow.
Same thing. Same as comparing a pig to a beef, right? Same muscle, but their just structure is a little different. So.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Absolutely. Cool. Okay, well, question number 2. What is your worst smokehouse fail?
Oh man.
And I mean, it's just catalyzed. All the things that are coming up.
I've been, obviously there's a lot of experience in this world of butchers and meat processors and sausage makers and smokers, and I'm sure all of them have a lot of crazy stories, and there's like so many running through my mind right now, but I'll tell one story of it was actually a power failure. It actually goes back to my catering days. Doing a roaster hog, so skin on, head on, the whole
Okay.
thing, roaster hog.
Yeah.
Right? And what we used to do is our smokehouse was big enough that we could we'd set the roaster hog on a smoke truck, and then the smokehouse was big enough that we could push that whole truck and cook this hog overnight and not have to babysit it. So I got everything set up for the active catering crew. The night before, I got the pig into the smokehouse, and then I was traveling the next day, and then the catering crew was taking over from there. They were serving a wedding, which we've talked about wedding caterings before. Odd that I have so many wedding catering stories. But rule number 1 is you don't screw up the meal at a wedding.
You try not to.
You try not to, because, So I get a call the next morning at, I was 4 hours away from Fargo. I get a call the next morning from the catering crew. They were serving at 4 p.m. They came in at like 10 to start prepping. They called me and said, the smokehouse isn't running. I'm like, what? Oh, we had a power failure that night. Smokehouse shut down. So I said, send me a picture of it, just so I can see
Know where you gotta
see
go.
if it took in any smoke, see what the status of it is.
Yeah.
Stick some probes in it. There's always a probe in it already, but
Yep.
I said stick some other probes in it, deep into the ham, into the shoulder, just so we get see what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Well, it was still, like 100 degrees and internal, but the shell, the skin had taken a nice smoke color,
Okay.
and it looked really nice. It still
Yeah.
looked like a roaster hog.
Very rare. Yeah.
So to fix the issue, or to salvage the whole thing. Because anytime somebody orders a roaster hog, you order a roaster hog because you want the presentation. You want to see
Right.
that hog, apple in the mouth, the whole nine
were you
yards.
going to blow flames out and stuff, like coming through, like,
Well, no, not quite that.
Okay.
Yeah, but so they went and bought pulled pork already cooked to serve for the actual meal, and then
Yep.
just brought the pig with just to have
Nice.
and they just did a quick, you know,
little switcheroo.
yeah, we're gonna process this over here, and threw it in the van, and then pulled out the pulled pork. Nobody knew
The old
any
bait and
wiser. Well, now they
switch.
do. Now somebody knows.
Yeah, well,
What are the odds that that bride is listening to this?
well, I hope she had a great wedding.
Yeah,
I hope
the food was great.
the food was great. That's all that matters.
It wasn't from that roaster hog.
It wasn't what was intended. But
Yeah.
that's,
But past that, you know, every smokehouse is a little different. I had a lot of learning curves coming here to 6-1 with this smokehouse. Different casings present different types of cooking, smoking, drying. Like there is a lot of science that goes into smoking and cooking meat, between drying stages, humidity levels, the bite of the product. If you're using collagen casings, natural casings, there's just so many variables, and getting everything dialed in. And still to this day, I've been here 5 years with this smokehouse. Like a bratwurst, for instance,
Okay.
a smoked brat, I cannot use collagen casings, which personally I think it's a fail because I haven't been able to figure it out. But every time I do it, they are so chewy that you can't even eat them.
can't get through them.
Yeah, so now we just peel everything, so it actually doesn't have a casing on it at all. But
So you'll case it, smoke it, and then
peel it. Yeah,
Okay, interesting.
it's a different type of casing. It's not a collagen casing. It's a cellulose casing, so it's not edible, and you peel it off and throw it away. It's like think of a hot dog. Hot dogs are stuffed into cellulose casings
Okay.
and peeled. There's
Yeah.
no casing on hot dogs.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we
that
do the
makes
same.
sense.
We do the same thing with our brats and franks and things like that. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, keep the shape and not all
Yep.
weird. And, yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine getting this hog in. Did you put like an apple in the mouth, or like did
Yeah,
you do?
we always did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually on the kill floor, we'd ball up a tinfoil ball
Okay.
before it went into rigor.
Okay.
We'd shove that in its
Oh,
mouth.
so the mouth stayed
So
open.
when it chills down and gets stiff, yeah, the mouth's still open. You pull out
I
that
guess I never
tinfoil.
thought about that. Yeah,
you pull
otherwise
out
you'd
that
be like just
tinfoil
wrenching
ball
on that
and
thing.
then stick an apple in it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. No, that I just immediately thought of like the fire breathing Hawaiian, like
You know,
a
what's that?
luau.
A luau,
Yeah. Which I don't know if I'd be invited to because I'd be like woo woo
Yeah.
freaking out. I'd be having a lot of fun. But yeah, no, that's cool. I would say, yeah, dealing with any kind of smokehouse with, like you said, all the things that come along with it. There's
It's fun.
a long list of things that you need to know. It's not just turn
it's-
it on and throw the meat in.
That's what's fun about it, is that you do have to actually put a lot of thought and effort into it, which is, yeah, that's what separates butcher shops in all reality, is the equipment and how they utilize their smokehouses and their environment. And I mean, even so, we're sitting here in the evening. The floor is still wet from us cleaning at the end of the day. If we run a batch of sausage at the end of the day versus first thing in the morning when everything's dry, just the humidity in the air
Really?
will add and have an effect inside that smokehouse because it has a fresh air intake.
Yep.
So just even things like that you'd think you have complete control in a sealed oven,
Yeah.
well, you still have fresh air intake to create a draft.
Yeah.
So even that affects it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot goes into it. Absolutely. That's why, well, all butcher shops aren't the same, and one in particular has the meat dude that runs it. So
Yeah, sure.
obviously 6-1 is just like way up
Yeah, I
here.
wouldn't
That's
go
where I
as
get
that
my
far.
meat, obviously. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So cool. Question 3. Any tips for making sausage or whole muscle products for product shows?
So I kind of want to tell the listening audience of what product shows are. So
Okay.
every state, some states are joined together, but we have meat processor associations. And then there's a national organization that goes out and lobbies on behalf of us small meat processors. So the Meat Processors Association is for very small and small meat processing plants. At every convention that I know of, at least, there might be some East Coast, West Coast that I'm not completely aware of, but there's a a product show, and it's an opportunity for everybody who is members of that association to put their product up against their fellow butchers, and it's a fun experience. I've judged a lot of product shows between Minnesota, South Dakota, and North Dakota. I was the president of our association for the last 2 years, so I've been putting on a lot of product shows, which there's a lot of things that obviously go on behind the scenes. And to dive into the question on tips to essentially do good at the product show, I'm assuming is kind of what he's getting at. And I think the biggest thing is presentation, making sure that there isn't any flaws whatsoever in that product visually, externally and internally. Internally, you're going to have to almost sit back and change your total production to change the internal texture of a piece of sausage, for instance, because there's dependent on how you grind, what size of grind plates you run it through, how you mix, what type of mixture you're using, how long you're mixing it for.
And then what
obviously,
you're mixing into it,
obviously ingredients have a play on that, and then outside appearance also has a huge play in it, and that just comes down to dialing in your smokehouse, dialing in your casings, making sure that when you're stuffing that product that you're stuffing it correctly, meaning to its full capacity without overdoing it. All of these things, normal meat processors, we're doing this on a daily basis, right? So that's why these product shows are fun, that we get to showcase what we're doing in-house. And it's also a great learning experience as a meat processor to, after it's been judged, to go look at the products and be like, that guy won, why? Can I see something that's drastically different than mine? And then when compared to ours, right? And then at the end of the night, when everybody's been drinking all night, and then you can go talk to that guy and be like, hey, what steps did you do? Like, what did you do differently than I did? The product show is really fun because it goes in 9 out of 10 customers, all they care about is how it tastes. Right? But visual appearance is a huge purchasing power that customers have. So to getting something to look visually nice will hopefully get that customer to try it first, and then your flavor traps them in for them to keep on coming back and back and back. And obviously flavor has a huge part of the product show as well. That's like 55% of the rubric, and then the other percentages is split between external and internal appearance. But yeah, I guess those are kind of the pointers. You know, I remember when I kind of first started getting into this, there's a couple meat shops or butcher shops that every year they were consistently winning classes. And I went and asked one of the guys, the guy who kept on winning, I said, be honest, does every single one of your sausages at your shop right now look like this one, or do you make specialty batches for the product show, which I know
way more time?
I think you're right. I know there's probably some people who do that, who make a small niche batch that they're able to focus, slow things down a little bit more on all those little visual things. And he responded with, no, we go into the freezer and grab these products and bring it out. And I'm like, that's kind of the goal, right?
That's probably amazing, actually. Yeah, that you can mass produce an awesome product.
That is the goal. Yeah. And visually, to mass produce, our truck holds 250 pounds of ring sausage. Not everyone looks the same.
No, we've made venison sausage for years, and with a smokehouse, and I mean, every year something weird happens, but we put the same crap in there every time, and that's what blows our mind.
So that's what's really fun about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so when we do it, when 6 and 1 submits to the product show for North Dakota, is the only place that we've competed.
Award winning, right?
We have won some awards, yes. We have won some awards. We do make a small batch because we don't sell retail here. We only do wholesale.
So you don't have a bunch.
So we don't have inventory sitting around to grab. So we'll make small batches of the different categories so we can submit and be part of the product show. Usually we do snack sticks, ring sausage, small diameter sausage, a couple different classes.
Small diameter sausage.
Yeah. It has to be less than 23 millimeters in diameter.
But so basically just like a bratwurst size?
No, it's more of like a hot dog size.
Hot dog size.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually what we've won 2 years in a row now.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So is there a specific something that you would put in almost all your ring sausage or all your things, like take it to that next level? Do you have like that one thing that you're always putting in it? You know, obviously there's seasonings and there's a certain amount of water or there's so many things.
Right. That's your basic recipe is obviously your meat block, and your meat block plays a huge role in it.
Okay.
You have your seasonings, you have your functional ingredients, which is the ingredients that you add that actually alter the product, don't just add flavor. So salt, sugar, cure, big three. Mm-hmm. And then water, and all water does is help carry the dry ingredients per se throughout. It helps with dispersion. And then also on a business side of things, adding that water helps you yield better out of the smokehouse, so you're not cooking the water that's already in meat completely out. You're adding that water, mixing it in. During that mixing, and those functional ingredients are absorbing and retaining that water. So when you go to the smokehouse and cook it, you're cooking out that water, and the goal is to be, yielding 98-99% of green weight that went into the smokehouse.
Okay.
Most, I would say commercially is 100% is probably the goal.
Yeah, but there's a little variance.
Right, there's always.
So has there ever been, because I guarantee people are like, dude, you got to try my sausage.
Oh yeah, all the time.
You got to. So have you ever been into just some Joe Schmo and you were like, what would you put in here? Because it was way better than, or have you never really, let's be honest.
It's usually the exact opposite.
The opposite, where you're like, good gracious.
I think people try to get too fancy with products.
Okay.
Like our country sausage, and most country sausage. Country sausage is, in and of itself, kind of a made-up term, geographical term.
Okay.
And it's pretty plain Jane.
Yeah.
Salt, pepper, garlic is pretty the base.
Right, don't mess it up.
And in all reality, salt, pepper, garlic is the base for all seasoning at the end of the day.
Yep.
But that's it. Like that's all we put into our country, with a little bit of sugar too. Just try to counteract that. Sugar does a great job of counteracting that saltiness, because we need salt in there to create protein extraction, to create bind. But we need enough salt that it does its job, but it doesn't punch you in the face like that ham you had for Christmas. So that's where that sugar comes into play, and it kind of balances out that flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
There's never been one where that's not even close. Haven't tried ours yet.
We did something fun at we did something fun at a convention last year where the grand champions of each class got auctioned off, and that money was raised for our scholarship that we get out every year.
Okay, cool.
And I bought the grand champion country sausage, and it was awesome. Like I called the butcher shop. I ended up talking to him a couple weeks later, and he was like, "Oh, what'd you think of that sausage?" I was like, "Man, that was good." I said, "But it's still salt, pepper, garlic. It's about it. You might add it there's really nothing else that's just it's gonna completely change the product." Yeah. Some people put mustard seed in their country sausage. That's for summer sausage in my head, but more power to you.
Well,
mustard seed doesn't really add flavor; it just adds texture. But it was good. What I was really impressed with was his the visual appearance. It was manufactured. That's a bad word, not manufactured, but it was made really, really well. Great craftsmanship. That's what I told him. I said I had it, cooked it up for the family tonight, and everybody thought it was great. And that's what separates you, is you can make good tasting sausage. A lot of people do at home in their garage, but to commercially make it that looks legitimately, that's what separates meat processors.
Yeah, I think if you go to the average guy's garage, you probably don't want to watch how they're making that, because it's not going to be anything like this, where Like they probably haven't cleaned the floor in a while and stuff. I mean, and
But I mean, I've still been there, you know, you shooting deer and you go drink beer and make sausage and you're mixing 20-pound batches by hand, and it just drives me crazy because it's like, you guys are mixing sausage by hand? Like, they make machines to do this.
right? Yeah, right. Yeah, it's about $300-400 into it. Then you got a mixer, and then you got a $500 grinder. Then
Right. It's an expensive hobby if you're a garage meat
Yeah.
processor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely. I always like those mustard seeds because then you can just go and shoot those suckers really far. But that's about the only thing I see.
I like it in summer sausage. I like the texture in like a sliced summer sausage.
I haven't tried it in an actual ring sausage. I haven't.
We get requests for it.
Okay.
We get a lot of like custom batches for our country sausage here because again we don't sell retail. And there's like 2 or 3 customers who always request, do your recipe but add mustard seed to it.
Interesting. Well, I guess more power to them,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, if they like it and they're paying for it.
Right, you keep coming back and paying.
Right on. Well, no, that's cool. I think that's a lot of good information. A lot of good things for Isaac, who dropped some questions for us. So
yeah, thanks.
We appreciate
thanks to Isaac
that
for submitting those. Those are really good questions.
Yeah, and we don't want to close ourselves off to any certain type of question. I think using anything meat related, like you said, cuts, like different ways to make stuff, different just all the different things that come along with just what to do in preparing meat and cooking meat. That's what we want to pull out of your head and tell the world for sure. So askthemeatdude@gmail.com. That's where we're taking questions. Also, you could message us on Facebook, or if you got our numbers, give us a call. We want to just put you on. You're going to be part of our episodes every week. Now we're going to kind of change. I know we mentioned this last episode. We're going to start going every other week. So we're going to do, this will come out on this Friday, the 9th of January, and then next week we'll have just the question segments on Facebook and then our full episodes on YouTube. So there's going to be a couple different places to check it out. We're also going to probably be dropping some questions here and there. I know next weekend we're planning on having a guest, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll try to get the 3-way call going there and figure all that stuff out. And just come up with some different stuff. Now that we're in 6-in-1 meats, hanging next with this guy's had better days, but it's going to make somebody a real happy person, no doubt.
That's going to be some good beef there.
Yeah, guaranteed. And you hang them for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, right on. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, let us know if we can help in any kind of way. Send us pictures of what you're cooking. Any kind of interaction is fun. That's what we want to do. Obviously, the NFL playoffs are starting. That's why I'm repping the old Green Bay. So in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, I'm really hoping that they're not sitting at home and we're talking about the NFC Championship, which I don't see happening at all. When you limp into the playoffs, I don't know. It's going to be a really good year this year. We'll probably have a Super Bowl episode in a couple episodes talking about some stuff you can make, different things like that. So once again, we appreciate you guys listening. I'm Patrick. This is my friend, the meat dude, Spencer Wirt.
Great episode.
Right on. Adios.
That sure smells good. Firing it up in the backyard, cracking one. It's time to chill. From the ranch to the steak, take it from the farm and put it on your plate. It's the meat dude, yeah. It's the meat dude, yeah. All the degrees from universities, bringing science in on how hot it's supposed to be. It's the meat dude, yeah. It's the meat dude, yeah. Spicy, mild, or somewhere in the middle. Answering all your questions, so turn it up a little. It's a meat dude, yeah. It's a meat dude, yeah.